Enuff Z'nuff and Fly High Michelle, and a live version of New Thing in there as well. Enuff Z'nuff's two biggest hits, featuring the vocals of the one and only Donnie V. No longer in the band. Sept Z'nuff's been singing lead vocals in the band in recent years, but Donnie has released some real great solo material lately and is also getting ready to go out and do some live shows. He's got that unmistakably great voice, and I'm glad that he's getting out there and doing some shows and showcasing it, and again, making some great new music on his own as well. And Donnie V joins us live right now on Trunk Nation. Donnie, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, man?
How you doing?
Pretty good for my age. How about yourself?
I could say the same thing.
I got a couple things going on, but nothing I even want to talk about.
Well, your health is okay, though?
Yeah, just having some issues with my nervous system, some genetic thing, and I'm having problems with the strength in my hands and feet and stuff, and I think it's causing me to have a month-long headache.
Oh, man, that's not good.
Nah, it sucks, but, it is what it is. It could be way worse.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I know you had some travel drama. You're getting ready to hit the road, and where do you start? You're playing, the first date is Vegas on Thursday, is that right?
I do believe, yeah, Thursday, Vegas. The next night is the whiskey, and then Sunday is in, Phoenix or something Dale.
You got Glendale. I'm looking at, well, actually,
Yeah,
the Vegas date. The Vegas date is not on your website, so we should tell people that is this Thursday at Vamped. That is happening, right?
Yeah, really? It's not on my website?
No, I'm looking at it right now. It lists the whiskey on the 29th, and then October 1st, as you said, Glendale, and that's at the 44 Sports Grill and Nightlife. But Vamped is on Thursday.
Thursday. Those motherfuckers. Oh, sorry.
That's right. You can say that.
I can't believe they did that to me. We'll have to talk to them about that. I'm sure they'll get it up there now. That's good to know.
Yeah, well,
thanks for that heads up.
Yeah. So, Donnie, obviously we have a lot of people that listen to this station and this show, and they hear, the big Enuff Z'nuff songs probably at least once a day, Fly High Michelle and New Thing. For those that have not been keeping up with what you've done since you've been out of the band, you've made some great music on your own. These are your own solo shows you're getting ready to go out and do. Bring everybody up to speed.
Well, I mean, I've been making my own solo records since 2000. I think is the first time that I made one. I think I've done 5 now. The last one was Beautiful Things, which I think is like the best thing that I did. And after that, I think I did a single or something, and I was getting ready to gear up for trying to hit the road and stuff, or at least go out and play shows. And then COVID hit, and that let me off the hook. But yeah, just trying to get out there and play in some shows. Not interested in getting on like a bus with a couple other bands, and you go and play in those, what I'm talking about, those 80s metal shows and opening up for, I that's not conducive to my health, anymore. And so, just doing some of my own. Got really good band. Alex Kane is in it, and the other guys. It's a really good band, and they sounds good, and everybody sings. There's the keyboards and everything in there, and a good part of the set is the old Enuff Z'nuff stuff.
I was going to ask you about that. I mean, people come to hear you sing, and of course, they're going to want to hear Enuff Z'nuff stuff. But as you mentioned, you put out some great records, and I was just talking to my audience about this before you called in, because a lot of these artists, people call in and ask me, hey, whatever happened to this one or that one? It gets frustrating, as I'm sure it does to you as well, because the answer is nothing. A lot of these artists are still out there doing different stuff, making new music, but the fans need to be more engaged to find it. Do you find it's challenging to get people to understand and know about what you're doing now?
It's stolen a lot of the inspiration and motivation out of me, It's like, so you make something, so like Beautiful Things or something, and and you're excited about it, so proud of it, and and you get on a buzz about it. It's like, all right, wait till people hear this, and then it comes and it goes because I have just such a limited, cult following, fan base, and so people that hear it are people that are actually going out and looking, searching for it. Because I don't have any major label support or anything, and it's not like that I tour much or anything like that. So getting the word out there is tricky. I've been currently trying to talk to a couple of people about doing some sort of managing to a certain capacity and helping out, and try to get the business end going. Is like I've kind of dropped out of the whole thing for 7 years or so, and just kind of playing some shows. I just want going out and playing halfway decent shows just because for the fans.
I mean, the whole thing about discovering music, it's a bit of a two-edged sword, because the good news is you don't need a label. You can do a lot of things through social media and stuff to connect with your fan base on your own. The bad news is, the days of needing a record label to put music out are gone. So you're in a pool that's 1,000 times more crowded, and letting people know you're out there doing what you're doing. You're fighting upstream because there's just so much filling that pipeline all the time. So that's like really a bit of a two-edged sword. The pro is you can do whatever you want. The con is so can anybody else, and it's really hard for people to find you sometimes and know what's going on now.
Yeah, you got to actually be looking and searching for me. It's like
right.
I'm a needle in a haystack, which is a haystack in a haystack. You know what I mean? It's so oversaturated, and in the older days it didn't. It wasn't like that. It was whatever the labels were putting out. When DJs determined people's careers and stuff. But now it's like, yeah, like you said. I mean, John Lennon could put out Imagine. If he had like my fan base, and it wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah,
kids,
no, I know.
These kids are ninjas on the social media. These young kids and stuff. They're ninjas on all that stuff. So they figure out how to get that word out there, and they do different things. And, I'm considered like grandpa to a lot of the listening audience,
So tell me about your band. You mentioned Alex, who's a friend, and he's played with a bunch of different people, Life, Sex, Death back in the day as well. So you've got him working with you, I'm assuming playing guitar, right? What's the rest of the lineup when people come out and see you?
Well, we're really new as a band playing together, and they've done a couple of shows. But I've just basically just getting to know these guys. So I know there's Josh. He sings in a band of his own, and I'm not sure what it is. And he's like the utility guy, plays guitars or keyboards and sings backgrounds. And then there's the same case for a guy named Greg who plays the bass. And then there's this young kid on the drums who's a little slammer, and so that's that band. I have another couple of setups too. Like here in my hometown, I have my band. And it's just Beautiful Things. All we do is just the Beautiful Things record in its entirety. These kids are all lead vocalists and stuff, and they're young kids. And I got the original drummer from Enuff Z'nuff before, Vicky Fox, and that sounds really great. That's so much fun to play that stuff like that when you got all those harmonies and it sounds like the CD. Then I got another batch of guys for out in the East Coast area, Billy and AD and Steve and those guys. So because realistically, logically, you can't really fly for what I'm able to, in the league that I'm in for what you're able to make. For shows, come on, that fly with 5 guys somewhere and then put everybody up in hotels and stuff. It just doesn't make any sense. It's actually would cost me twice as much as I would make. So you kind of have to have. Come here. Sorry, I'm walking the dog. You kind of have to have some. You have to have, like Chuck Berry did. Show up with a briefcase and a bunch of sheet music. But at least these guys are like bands, They do a lot of the work and rehearse all of the stuff. And so I just come down, a day early or whatever, and we run through it.
Yeah. Chuck Berry it demanded on that cash up front
Oh,
too,
shit.
maybe
I'm
before you
sorry.
started
Hold on
playing.
a second. Oh, my goodness. The earbud thing came out of the phone. I didn't realize it.
I can hear you all right.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm walking the dog because I pace when I talk on the phone because I can't really sit down. And so I figure I'll
Right.
walk him around. But anytime there's any dogs or anything like that, I'm not paying attention. He rips the shit out of my hand. He's gonna get
Well,
kicked.
listen, man, I wanted to make sure people knew about these dates and knew about what you were doing now. And anything else coming up that people should be aware of and keep an eye open for?
Well, currently, there's a couple of things. There's some rainbow thing. I'm not, Alex has been doing the business part of that. We're doing a New Zealand and Australia run in February, and it's kind of, getting things going with these guys, and probably talking to a couple other people, agents, about getting more shows. Obviously, I got to work, I got to play, or I would just fade into oblivion. And, but I just can't do those tours like that. I can't take Monday through Thursday in these little towns opening up to, for 50 people and stuff for no money. It's just, it's not worth it. Plus all the risks and stuff, with all the alcohol and all that crap again. So I like just do decent shows in in like the Midwest, and go to a few in the West Coast, a couple of, East Coast, go hit a different country, and wherever else that there's, some sort of, demand, or I have any value. And, so just for the fans, the fans, my fans, they really are great fans. They really love me so much, and they stick by me, and they never fail to tell me how much it means and stuff like that. So that's why I do it.
Well, I'm glad you're still doing it, because I love your voice. A lot of people do love your songs as well. And you sound good, and, you look good. I'm looking at some videos and stuff on your site. People can learn more at DonnieV.com is the website. You referenced, the temptation of being on the road with alcohol and stuff. How are you doing with your sobriety? Are you okay?
I'm great. Yeah, I haven't. It's not only is there no desire, it's just the thought of it freaks me out. You know what I mean? It's just like the darkness of that life and the way you feel and all of that stuff. And I just get the willies. It's like you're getting let out of jail. Do you want to go back, or in your old marriage? You want to go back to that?
Right. Well, good for you, man. It's good to hear. And what are you on good terms with Chip these days?
Not really on much of any terms with him, but that's probably I consider that on the good side. But yeah, I mean, hey, what can you say? What can you do? Things have happened in the past, and the future's the future, and who knows what it holds. He's happy doing exactly what he's doing, and and regardless of, and this is, and I'd much prefer doing this, if there was ever some occasion came where there was a reason that it was actually worth it and it was something worth doing, I'd probably have no problem doing it.
I was going to ask you about that for the Enuff Z'nuff fan that's listening. It's like, man, it'd be just great to see Donnie and Chip together one more time as Enuff Z'nuff. Do you have any desire to do that? Do you hold out any hope for that, or do you think that ship has sailed?
I told him and put that out there about 2.5 years ago, maybe not long after I talked to you on the last interview, and told him, that because I wanted to tell him face to face that I had bought the trademark outside of the United States, so it's a double-edged sword. But I told him point blank, so I'd be interested in doing, some decent shows, but decent ones, where it's just well publicized. There's good, good pre-sales and stuff, and it make a lot of sense and smart, but not the other stuff. But he told me that's flat out. He goes, well, if I do one show with you again, he goes, that ruins my thing, and what can I say? I mean, I'm not going to do what he's doing if it's going to ruin his thing. I think I don't know. time will tell on that. But I put it out there, and he's not interested in that. And I just said point blank, I said, don't you think the fans? That's what it is, Chip. I'm not itching to get back into something with you. I said it's the fans. Our fans are wonderful, and they're divided. But it just fell on deaf ears, so not my fault.
Well, none of us are getting younger, like you said, so maybe at some point it'll come back around again. I think a lot of people would enjoy seeing it and hearing it. But in the meantime, they can hear what you're doing. You said you're going to do a bunch of Enuff Z'nuff stuff. And then I imagine some stuff from Beautiful Things and your recent records as well will be mixed in, right?
Yeah, it's we'll probably go 90 minutes, a couple hours. It depends on how things are going. And yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. There's the piano, some of the piano stuff, some breakdown acoustic stuff. And if you got to look at it, 25 collective records throughout those years, you can't pick something off each record. So you got to pick time periods, and things that that even the fans who aren't big fans, the songs that they know. So you got to throw those in there, and which are the ones that you like to play the least, But then you sprinkle in some that I personally like to play, and then you got to kind of pace it too for what this old man can sing, and a bunch in a row, So yeah, we just go like time periods.
Hey, one last question, and I'll let you go. I always wondered about this, and so many others do as well. So Enuff Z'nuff came out of the gate so strong. Fly High Michelle, new thing, all over MTV, great buzz, doing really well. Why didn't it continue? Why didn't it get to the next level? Why did it start to fall apart after that first record in terms of not the material, but in terms of like the commercial sales? Like, why couldn't the band get to the next level? That's
actually it would take a really long answer, but to try to sum it up, right at that very time, there was a lot of lack of thought going into our style and image, first of all, and at that time, all the labels in music business flipped upside down. Our label wasn't even owned by run by the same people anymore. Like, we just hear that now they're run by this or this and that. Nirvana and that stuff came along, and anything that was like 80s metal or anything like that became instantly thought of as taboo. And it was for a long time. It still is to some people. Like, it's a joke, and it's terrible. But that happened. And when that happened, we had to get out of a big, huge record deal, or our records weren't going to be put out. So we went to a different label that didn't have any rock and roll market. You know what I mean? They had no rock network or anything. So they're a commercial CHR label going to their stations and their network with a record that resembles what's just going out of style right now with the hair and all that stuff, because even when he took the makeup off, you still look at Derek and Vic and stuff, there's just no hiding from that stuff. And so we just got lumped in with that stuff. It was a shitty break, and then as the major labels, once it doesn't work out for you with two major labels, it doesn't matter what the reason was. You know what I mean? All that matters is, now if it didn't work there and didn't work there, and plus it was hard to market us anyway. What genre do you put us in, and so, and then, just the business, it's the same thing that's happened to a lot of artists, just that slow downward spiral, and having to reinvent the game. But that's basically what happened. There's a lot of details, if I told you the story, I'm going to tell the story, in this book thing I'm doing, but if you heard the story, you'd understand.
You got a book coming out?
I'm talking to somebody about making one now. That's going to be a long project, But yeah, I'll tell the story. And when people hear the real stories about things, they'll understand a lot more.
Yeah. No, books are time consuming, but they're cool when they get done. So good luck on that. Well, listen, man, it's good to talk to you for a few. I should be in Vegas on Thursday. I'm going to try to come out and see you for a little bit at Vamped, at least say hello and catch some songs. I love what you're doing now. And of course, all the Enuff Z'nuff stuff was so cool as well. If you are in Vegas, you can see Donnie V of Enuff Z'nuff fame playing Thursday night at Vamped, one of my favorite spots there. And then on Friday, if you're in LA, West Hollywood at the Whiskey. And then October 1st, which is this Sunday, Glendale, Arizona at the 44 Sports Bar and Grill. Go ahead and check out DonnieV.com. Keep up with everything that Donnie has going on now and any additional shows as they're added. Good to talk to you, man. Have a safe trip out to Vegas, and I'll definitely swing by and come say hello on Thursday.
Eddie, bring your guitar. Come on up. We'll do Stairway to Heaven.
I can't play a note. That's why I do this. I can't play a note, buddy. I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, punter, Eddie. No,
that's
okay.
it.
I hope to see you there, man. Bring a couple hundred of your friends. We'll have a good.
All right, sounds
have
good.
a good time. I look forward to seeing you. I got some presents for you.
All right, man.
All right,
safe
buddy.
travels, Donnie. I'll see you soon.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye-bye. There he goes, Donnie V. That is a rock and roll survivor right there, ladies and gentlemen. And that is about as raw and real as you're going to get it. There's a perfect example. What do I talk about all the time on this show? We had a call earlier. Somebody say, hey, what's going on with Taiketo? Why don't they do more? And remember I said, there are people that had a couple hits that still are struggling to get anything happening, and they had hits. There's Donnie, singer in Enuff Z'nuff, 2 huge songs back in the day, MTV videos, Fly High Michelle, New Thing, all that. And you just, most people put up this facade that they're living large and they're rock stars for life. And you just heard from the guy himself, as super honest as you could be. Yeah, man, I don't want to go play on a Tuesday night to 5 people. I'm not getting in the van. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do what I can do when I feel like I can do it and hope some people show up. That's the reality, stripping away all the BS of where the business is. And that's for a guy who was the singer in a band that had a gold record and a couple hits. So you can imagine how challenging it would be for those that didn't. Donnie also said something that is super honest. When he talked about, how they got, like every other band, crushed when the scene changed in the 90s, and how there's still a stigma against some of that stuff. And like he said, it's sad, it's unfortunate. And he's right. That's as honest as you're going to get it right there from a guy that's just being real and not putting on any sort of air about him. Oh, I was a big guy in a rock band. That's just awesome. And that's just a real look behind where things are at for a lot of these guys at this point in their life. And a lot of them, like Donnie, unfortunately went through addiction problems and things like that. So I appreciate his honesty. I really do. And he still has a tremendous voice. Looking forward to seeing what he's got in store for these shows. I'm going to try to make it over there on Thursday and see him for a bit. Thank you to Donnie V for checking in.